Hello. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate two very important movements of the right hand. Now, they're not movements that we're going to be using in any active way whilst playing. They are more like preliminary, preparatory exercises to improve the supple nature and the flexibility of the right hand. Because if you think about it, the springs that are the strings and the springs that are the hair of the bow and the stick too, which has a certain flexibility, are absolutely necessary for producing a flexible and supple sound. And this interaction between these three springs will be blocked if our hand is rigid. So we must work on our right hand to make sure that they are functioning in a beautifully smooth and flexible way in order that the sound will always be have that flexible quality as well. So we're going to start with the first of those two movements, that of the fingers, and I'm going to take this pen and use it as a demonstration bow. I'm going to hold it like a bow, and I'm going to keep my hand absolutely flat so that the knuckles have virtually disappeared. And then I'm going to raise those knuckles so that the fingers are as elongated as possible. And the movement between those two extremes, which must be aided by the thumb being flexible in a similar way, that forms the spring of the fingers. And I'm going to hold my wrist with my left hand to make sure that the wrist at this point is not moving. And I need to make as smooth a movement as possible so there's absolutely no tension in the fingering and no hint of shuddering. And when I can do that, I'm going to use the bow. I'm going to put the bow on the string, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to raise and lower the fingers in that way. At different parts of the bow, might find it more easy here. I guess that's personal. Or you might find it easier nearer the tip, and you might find it rather difficult at the actual tip itself. And when I've done it in different places in the bow, I'm going to find places where it shudders. If I find a place maybe that shudders there, I'm going to do a little mini workout there, because the angle of the arm and the hand will be different. I might shudder at this place. Now I'm going to see if I've eliminated that shudder. Yes, I think I have. So I'm going to do this little workout using just the fingers for a few minutes. Maybe I'll start the day like that, or maybe I'll do it in the afternoon, or both. But whatever I do, I'm going to be working out so that my hand becomes supple. Now, the other movement is the movement of the wrist. And so as not to confuse the wrist with the fingers, I'm going to take this apple and I'm going to hold on to it so that I can't move my fingers. And this movement is one rather like a hinge. I'm going to go down to the lowest possible place and up to the highest possible. And I'm going to do this not too fast. Again, to try and feel that there is an absolute suppleness about the wrist and there's no shuddering going on. And once I've achieved that, I'm going to do the same as I did with the fingers, but this time with the wrist. I'm going to raise the wrist to an absurdly high level, and I'm going to lower it to an equally absurd low level. And I'm going to try and make sure that the bow doesn't rotate. I don't want to be doing that. The bow stays at the same angle. And I'm going to try that in different parts of the bow. This I might well find easier at the tip. And when I've done that at different parts of the bow, again, I'm going to experiment in different parts of the bow where I find it easy. And if I find a place where the bow maybe shudders a bit, then I'm going to conduct a mini workout at that place, because it's obviously that angle which doesn't quite work with the hand. And like with the fingers, I'm going to be doing maybe 4 movements per bow. Like that. And let me stress once again, these are not movements we use when we are playing. They are used merely as warming up exercises and to improve the suppleness of the wrists, so that the springs of the string and the bow can also be communicated into the sound via a supple and flexible right hand. Enjoy your practicing.